to kind of push up. So even though Frozean, he's basically even production-wise, he managed to take out a single right there. But again, I think Flash, pretty decent micromanagement-wise, can just keep producing those wraiths, cloak them up, take a couple siege tanks, and use them to spot to get that first shot. The question is really, I think the important thing here is going to be upgrades. Who can get to that weapon upgrade first? Because on spotting, that really makes a big difference. As you can see, yeah, he's going to use that cloak to push up and going to just draw those wraiths back and manage, and really a brilliant unit selection by Flash, in my opinion, using those wraiths both for kind of their mobility and for kind of this tank spotting push. Losing a couple tanks there, that was a good setup by Frozean, and going to bring down, looks like I'm not sure who, yeah, he's going to bring down that barracks to spot. That was very clever on Frozean's part, and those wraiths immediately going after that barracks, going to try to shoot, but he needs to be careful again. But still, I feel like all the micromanagement is on Frozean's part. He has to be careful bringing those Goliaths in. As you can see, if he doesn't immediately pull those Goliaths back, while those raids are harassing, he basically is going to lose all his Goliaths on that tank line, because they both have the spot with the Goliaths and, I mean, just an incredible amount of range. Looks like Flash has expanded basically both even economically here, but again, I really feel like Flash's combination a little bit stronger than Frozean's combination running up. Managed to take something out there. I'm not quite sure what Frozean was trying to build there. I think something sneaky in the background. Turrets, I guess, going up around, and that's really the effective counter here, but Flash just taking them down left and right. Frozean not doing a very good job of defending his territory, defending those turrets, pulling up some Goliaths here, but wow. The only difference here is in the long term, if Frozean can hold this off and make this into kind of a late game, he will definitely take an advantage, because Goliaths are a lot cheaper than Wraiths. Ray's definitely more gas heavy, and right there comps added, but really didn't have any. It looks like he did bring up a couple Goliaths, but a little bit late. Didn't have the Goliaths in position. Frozean not doing a very good job here, both tactically and I feel like micromanagement wise. And I wouldn't be surprised if Flash in a second here either shifted to basically 3 dropships or just made another large group of raids and just started pushing up and harassing that unprotected secondary. So now we see several factories, I would say about 6 or 7 factories up for Frozean. Still only 4 factories up, but another starport down for Flash. Maybe there's, I would suspect actually that there's more factories up for Flash, because it's about that time. But as you can see, Flash doing just kind of that steady push, and Frozean just doesn't have anything for this. He's just losing territory left and right. He has those turrets up, but is unable to defend them. A small contingent towards the middle, and really I feel like if Frozean's going to come out in this match, what he needs to do is he needs to have a clever flanking maneuver. He can't just keep pressing in and just trying to stop this tank Wraith push. What he needs to do is he needs to get an attack or a drop on Flash's base, which again is going to be difficult because of those Wraiths. Dropships are very vulnerable to Wraiths, so I feel like, wow, this is a brilliant combination. Especially for this map. It's not altogether rare. I've definitely seen this before, but really, I wouldn't have thought to do this on Katrina. It's just perfect. I would have immediately probably just gone for dropship, which is definitely kind of the more standard thing to do. And Flash doing exactly what he needs to do. He's expanding. He's taking more gas. He's taking more minerals, because again he's a little bit reduced there. And Flash doing just some brilliant both macro and micromanagement here, pushing up, and Frozean just absolutely on his heels. A couple just getting picked apart by this Wraith tank combo, and you can see Flash just really has practiced this and been absolutely brilliant with it. Frozean has a small grouping that's going to come around, and as you can see, Flash just trying to get extra gas as he can to supplement this heavy gas build. But I don't think Flash is too worried about that, because he's right on the doorstep of one of these expansions. Again, just going to use those Wraiths to spot. And again, it comps that off, but that comps that isn't really, I guess it was to spot the tanks. But Flash very cleverly moving out of the way. And I think Flash is easily going to be able to take out that group, and he's right on that doorstep. He can really afford to just, keep hammering at this. So basically kind of a base exchange, and that base exchange I think is a little more, not as much, it's more in Frozean's favor, or I should say it's more in Flash's favor, even though he has the more expensive build. He still has that 6 o'clock position going up. Looks like Frozean is going to build in the upper right hand corner. He's going to take, he's just going to try to hide in his upper right hand corner of the map, and right there that's a bad engagement point for Flash. He doesn't have the tank support really there to kind of float across, and those Goliaths kind of posted there. Now really I feel like this is the moment where Flash should start thinking about maybe getting some dropships, and maybe doing, or maybe even kind of just a Wraith push on a little bit of the secondary, still using those Wraiths to spot to take out that gas. I think that's what he's really focusing on. He's going to basically deny as much gas to Frozean as possible. My guess is probably around now the main is getting a little bit thin for Frozean. I wish we could get a spot on that res to confirm that. Right now it's just going to be staking out who's going to take what territory where. And I really again, Flash just has a massive mobility advantage, even though he not as much production out of factories, but really the only thing he needs to produce is tanks. He's not bothering with Goliaths at all. Whereas Frozean, as you can see, just hasn't won a single engagement yet, in my opinion. Has been entirely on the defensive. Is entirely he did manage to take out that one expansion, but as you can see, it looks like Flash just starting to set up a contain. And a contain on Terran, it's almost always the other way around. In Terran versus Terran matches, you see containments being built, but usually it comes down to dropships, not with a Wraith tank build. And really, Frozean needs to do something very quickly. First of all, he needs to hurry up and set up his own contain so he doesn't get bowled over, and then he needs to figure out something, maybe get some dropships off of his own, or he just needs to get something to there he's getting dropships now to supplement his basically